Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. Today we're taking a look at a party game for music fans. This is MTV, the Throwback Music Party Game. In this one, you're going to be splitting up into two teams and trying to get your the teammates to guess some songs, some artists, by giving them a clue, a one-word clue, maybe humming one of their songs, maybe speaking some lyrics and seeing if they can figure out what song that is. So, let's go ahead and take a look at how it works. See you on the other side. To set up the game, we're going to fold out the board. We're going to shuffle all the head-to-head cards and all the artist cards separately. And then we'll put out the timer here. You break up everybody into two teams and you are ready to go. So here's how it goes for each of the rounds in the game until somebody wins, okay? You're going to pick one player from each team. They're going to you're going to reveal one of these, they'll both look at that, and then the players will have to take turns saying songs containing whatever word this has, so let, and whoever thinks of one first will hit this thing and say it. Let it go. And then the other players in the hot seat, they have 15 seconds until this runs out to say, something that contains the word let. Don't let me down. Okay, and whatever. This goes back and forth until someone fails to do that. When somebody fails to do that, then the other player wins, and they are going to draw 9 of these cards. Okay? Once you've got your 9 cards, you are going to look at them, and just you, not the rest of your team, and you will pick 3 of them. You will pick whatever you want, and you're going to put them into the spots that match these 3 categories. So pick the one you want. You're going to put one in one word. You're going to put one of them into the lyrics part here. And you're going to put one into perform. And you can do, whatever, that one. Then you hand the rest of these to the player on the other team. And from these, they will pick 3 to do the same thing with. The other 3 are discarded, and then you can begin. Whoever won is going to begin. You're going to get 30 seconds now, and if you hold this thing down for 2 seconds here, it'll start beeping slower. That gives you 30 seconds to try to get your team members to guess all these, but all you get to do for each of them is you get to say one word. You can repeat that word, but one word. You can speak the lyrics. You cannot sing them, but you can speak lyrics. And then this one you can hum. You cannot say words, but you can basically perform songs from that artist to try to get your team to figure it out, okay? Once you run out of 30 seconds, you're done. If you get them all within 30 seconds, though, you can start then taking the other players and grabbing them and trying to get your team to guess some of those as well. If whichever one of those 2 things happens, so let's say, for example, I start over here, and so I have a feeling that tonight is going to be a good night. They're like, oh, Black Eyed Peas. Okay, great. And then, over here you can say purple. People are like, purple, deep purple? No, you can't say purple. Purple Rain, Prince. Yes, it's Prince. And then let's say I didn't get this one in the 30 seconds right now, then the other team will get their 30 seconds to go through theirs. And if they finish those, then they can try for this one over here. No matter what happens, let's say they were only able to get 1, the rest of these are going to be discarded. Each team is going to pick a new captain, a new leader for the round, and they go back to the head-to-head where they flip over this, and they have to take turns saying songs that have that word until someone can't come up with anything else. They have a rule in which everybody backing you up on your team while you're doing the head-to-head, they're called the backup singers. They're allowed to help you try to think of something by humming something that contains the word you're looking for, and maybe that'll jog your memory, right? And you can be like, oh yeah, but they're not allowed to give you any more clues, but they can try to sort of get in your head by humming something. Now, as far as the scoring goes, the game is going to be over when any one team has all of the different categories, and they're all right here listed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So once you have at least one of each of the 8 categories, your team's going to win. And you can also, at the end of a round, as it says here on the back of the rules, You are allowed to steal cards by, at the end of every artist round, you can discard 3 records of the same category. So say I can discard 3 pop anthems and steal 1 from the rival's collection of something I'm missing, ideally, right? So that's one way in which you can get to something that you haven't been able to find otherwise. If you have a bunch of extras of something, you can discard 3 for 1 of theirs. That's the game. That's pretty much everything you need to do. Get 8 of these, perform, do the lyrics, or speak 1 word to try to get your team to figure out the artists that you are hoping that they will guess. So, Cobain. Smells Like Teenage Spirit. Of course, it's Nirvana. Let's go back up and let me tell you what I think of this game. Big Potato Games, which is the maker of the game here, they're the publisher, they've done a lot of these kinds of games. Most closely related to this is the Blockbuster game, in which you do a very similar thing with movies, trying to figure out movies. I'm a bigger fan of movies than I am of music, so I like that one a little bit more. But this is obviously targeted at someone who likes music, right? So you need to know that going in. I don't think anyone who is not a big fan of music should pick this up, probably. That's obvious, though. So let's talk about what I liked and didn't like in this one. I think Big Potato Games has been carrying over some sort of design ideas throughout their games that I personally wish they would drop already. And we'll get to that, okay? So from the top, the theme. It's great. If you're a music fan, you're going to love it. I will say that it would help if you are a music fan of the time period that this is covering. This trend's pretty modern. MTV is probably a good clue for that, but be aware that the categories included and the artists and the time frame there, it'll help that you are someone who knows that stuff. The aesthetics, very cool look. I love the cards that look like cassette tapes. I like the look of the whole package. Timer's neat, works well. There's not a lot here, but the aesthetics look cool. The replay value is a little bit of a problem. There's not enough cards in this game, I would say, and that's kind of an issue for me. There are a bunch of cards. I'm not saying that there aren't that many. I'm just saying you go through so many every game that you will see most of these cards a little too quickly, okay? So let me grab here the cards that make up the artist deck. Here we go. This is it. This is the artist deck. That's not bad. And if we used 9 of these per game, I'd say this is amazing. You know, it's great replayability. The problem is you use 9 of these per round. And you burn through these very quickly. You're going to start seeing repeats quickly in this game, okay? So I wish there were more cards in it, and that's going to hurt the replayability. Next up, we've got Game Arc. And this is, again, that problem I was telling you about. The scoring system in these games needs to be changed to something more party game friendly. I don't want to have to play for that long. You have to collect all 8 categories, 1 of each. And they even have a rule in there, because they know it takes too long, that if you collect a bunch of one kind that you don't need, then you can get rid of them and steal one from the other team. It's just too long. I don't like that scoring being what it is. They did the same thing in Mr. Lister's quiz shootout, and they did the same thing in the Blockbuster one, I think. The scoring always feels gamier than the game warrants. This is a party game about singing, humming songs and figuring out artists. The scoring doesn't jive with that, for me. I think it makes the game too long, and stealing one from the other team, they're just crawling up that mountain, and then you're like, yeah, give me that, because I got a bunch of dead cards. I don't like it. I think a lot of people will just house rule the scoring in this game, which is fine. Do that. I did it to my quiz shootout game from them. I really like that game, but I hate the scoring. So I just ignore it and I do something else. But I wish they would just sort of, not make me do that, and I still don't like that scoring system. Ease of play, very high, very easy to play. You understand how it works already, and you can just sort of get going. And then lastly, tactics, luck, strategy. Well, which cards you get is going to be, of course, a good chunk of luck. And also, this is one of those games, trivia-style games, that much like Trivial Pursuit, you either know it or you don't. You know, if you are given 6 cards because you're the second team, and you just don't know the artists, you're not sure you remember one of their songs, that sort of thing, then you just don't know it. You're going to be in trouble for that round. It's going to be a bit of a downer of a round if you just don't know it, okay? So it can lead to a lot of laughs, and you can definitely enjoy that aspect of it, but be aware that that could happen. Again, I wouldn't recommend this to people that aren't really well-versed with music. Not just a passing fan of it, but like, you know your stuff, you know. So there you go. That is the MTV, the Throwback Music Party Game. Long title, too. It's not that much of a throwback either, because these artists are not, like Black Eyed Peas. That's not that old, right? I mean, some of these are not that old. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, I like it okay. I think with modifications at home, this is going to be a really fun activity, but I still think there's not enough variety. You're going to see things repeated too quickly, and you got to get the right people to play this with. But still, it's neat looking and could make for a really cool gift. So this is going to get a 6 out of 10 from me. I like it. I recommend it to the right folks, but this isn't sort of a blanket like, go out and get it. This is a great party game. It can be, okay? So there you go. That's it from me. 6 out of 10, like I said. My name is Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.